Yeah, the gloves were bigger, the rounds were shorter, it was rigged, no it wasn't. At this point, you've heard it all and seen it all, and I'm not going to talk about any of that. What I'm going to focus on is something a little different, something that goes back to a day when I told Mike Tyson to step back into the ring. Welcome to the channel, let's get right into it.
The Hypno-Toad.
So who is this very special toad we are talking about? His name is Bufo Alvarius, lives in the Desierto de Sonora in Mexico, and it contains a substance called 5-MeO-DMT. How do you extract this substance from the toad? Well, the toad has glands on his body that you can milk, and so you can sort of squeeze this substance on a clear surface, like a glass, then let it dry, then scrape it off, put it into a pipe and smoke it. Now, what I said here is just for educational purposes. Don't go around chasing toads, and don't get yourself into trouble. If you want to experiment with these substances, do so in a legal way and in a responsible way. Mike Tyson first tried 5-MeO-DMT in 2019, and 1 year later he was in the ring with Roy Jones Jr. He got back in shape, he lost 100 pounds, which is like 45 kilograms. He got himself together, he got himself out of addiction, and he got himself back on the ring.
Hey, listen, I did this DMT stuff,
right?
And I lost that weight, and I said, I don't know what happened. I just don't know what happened. I said, I'm gonna do this. But I did this toad, and this toad, I said, you gotta do it. They said, you have to do it.
The toad told you.
You have to
the
do
DMT
it.
told you time to fight.
You have to do it.
Wow.
I lost the weight.
He had like between 70 and 80 sessions of 5-MeO-DMT, which is like a whole lot of sessions, man, a whole lot. Some of the media and newspapers did not understand what was going on with this toad thing. They thought that Tyson was just getting himself into another abyss. But what was happening was quite the opposite. Tyson was getting himself out of the abyss of addiction he had been into pretty much his whole life. Now, I'm not gonna say that 5-MeO-DMT is the magic pill of enlightenment, or any of the other psychedelics for that matter, or entheogen if you want. But nevertheless, it's a very potent tool that can transform lives, that can save lives, we can say. So why are we not using these medicines in a therapeutic settings? Well, psychedelics, after Timothy Leary, turn on, tune in, drop out, you remember that, right?
Turn on, tune in, and drop out.
Psychedelics got caught into Nixon war on drugs, and they've been put in the same big pot with all the other drugs. We had to wait like 50 years to have another chance, and this chance came with two words: psychedelic renaissance. We've been hearing these two words for a while now, but now that on stage we have someone like RFK Junior, we might actually be able to see the psychedelic renaissance blooming and blossoming. Here is what he said on X. FDA's war on public health is about to end. This includes its aggressive suppression of psychedelics, a bunch of other things, but also simple and even free things, and anything else that advances human health and can't be patented by pharma. Of course, pharma with capital P. If you work for the FDA and are part of this corrupt system, I have two messages for you. 1, preserve your records, and 2, pack your bags. So all is good then? No, you have to be very careful not to screw it up this time. You might want to hear what Jordan Peterson has to say about it.
So I had Timothy Leary's old job at Harvard.
That comes with a lot of weight.
Leary in particular made a huge mistake when he said tune in, turn on, and drop out. He should have said tune in, turn on, and grow up. I'm dead serious about that, because there's a different form of responsibility that emerges, and if the use of transformative technologies like psychedelics isn't accompanied by that framework of enhanced responsibility, then it can degenerate into a kind of hedonistic chaos.
Right.
And that's what the Nixon types were reacting to. They were terrified by it. And they had the reasons to be terrified because, as you're intimating, these technologies are unbelievably potent and destabilizing. Now, that destabilization can be used for let's say for better or for worse.
Right.
And it should be used for better. That's complex. It's a very complex thing to manage. And so
Right.
And so there's some balance in the middle. Well, that's that balance between chaos and order that we were referring to earlier.
So we have to wait 50 years to have another chance. So let's not screw it up this time, because this time we have no excuses. You have an incredible technology like the internet. You have the right man as a Secretary of Health of the United States. We have an unbelievable intellectual powerhouse, and Jordan Peterson is an example of that. So truly, no excuses. We might not have another chance altogether. This time, instead of pursuing a state of enlightened bliss, we might want to pursue enlightened responsibility.
Complex social order can be maintained by something like mindless obedience.
Right.
But that's suboptimal. What you'd really want is enlightened responsibility.
So psychedelics are a very potent tool. They are not inherently good, not inherently bad. Let's not leave them in the past. Let's try to bring them with us to help us fight the demons that are biting into the body of our society. Let's not be scared. Let's look at the future with a positive outlook, and let's try to be responsible about it. I'm going to sound a bit like Terence McKenna, but I'm sure that humanity needs this kind of medicine, because we are kind of getting more and more disconnected, but we achieve impossible and amazing things. We've done terrible things as well, like wars and all that stuff, but we've done also very positive things. These plant medicines could really help us bridge the gap and help us close the disconnection that happened between us and nature. It's like we've lost something and we try to find it in the wrong places, like tobacco, alcohol, and all these substances are legal, which makes you really think. Alright, that's all I have to say. I'm gonna leave the closure of this video to my good old friend Terence McKenna, and I wish you all a good life and catch you guys next time. See ya.
Psychedelics are illegal not because a loving government is concerned that you may jump out of a third-story window. Psychedelics are illegal because they dissolve opinion structures and culturally laid down models of behavior and information processing. They open you up to the possibility that everything you know is wrong.